Hello, I'm Karma Kitaj. I'm your host for A Livelihood, New Careers as We Age. And today we're going to meet with Bennett Vogt of spaceclear.com, and we're going to find out what that means. Space clear? Let's find out.
Hi, Karma.
Hi, Stephanie. So I'm so happy we finally got together.
Finally, yes.
Yeah. So I know you told me a little bit about your background, and on this show we talk a lot about people who transition from one career to another, and I know you did that some years ago. So you told me that you had taught Spanish in private schools, mostly private schools around the Boston area, for 20 years, right?
That's right.
And then you just got to a point where that wasn't making you feel alive anymore.
Exactly,
right?
just like your show says.
Yeah. It didn't feel like a livelihood
No.
experience. So you decided that you were going to try something new. And I think you said that there was something about that transition that felt terrifying for you. So can you say something about?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember feeling that I had just gone off the deep end to walk away from a really well-loved community, a great job, a fabulous benefits, and fabulous students. And to say, I think I need a change was terrifying for me. And I remember for the first 6 months of walking away from that, I would dream about the school. I would have a dream maybe every other day of the school, missing class or being late for class or showing up to my class naked, those terrifying dreams.
Yes. Tell me that.
So I feel
funny.
like I had to kind of, work it through, sort of transition in a deep way. But what was so great is that I started to connect with, as I cleared that, and I started to clear my own clutter, physical clutter, I started to get in touch with the things that made my heart sing. And the things that made my heart sing, it made my heart sing when I was a child, which was about creating nourishing homes and tending these homes and just the whole sort of bringing vitality to your space.
Before you go on then, Stephanie, I just want to understand a little bit more about the transition.
Yes.
So it sounds like you're saying that you just decided that you had to leave teaching, and you didn't really have a plan about what's next, right?
No, that's why it was so terrifying, because I've always sort of had a plan. It's like I know what I'm going to do tomorrow, or if I'm going on a trip, I know I make plans for that. And this was literally walking
just a wide
away.
open space for you.
And that to me was just I felt like I was committing professional suicide, and it's like. But 10 years later, actually, that was in 1996. So we're looking at a while ago now, 1995, and it's been a while.
More like 15 years since you.
Oh my gosh!
Shifted, right?
Math was not my subject, but 15 years ago, and I have literally, I've taken what I loved about teaching. I continue to teach, but I teach a whole different subject matter, and I've written a book, and that book that I wrote is sort of chronicles some of this journey.
So we have your book cover that we could put up here.
That's right.
Called Your Spacious Selves.
Yes.
So can you say something about what's the book about?
Well, first let me just say I never thought I had writer in me at all. I was teacher, but writer just wasn't something I'm a slow reader even. So it surprised me that this love of writing started to bubble up. So it was one of the many things that started to bubble up as I created the space for this whole new chapter, let's say whole new book in my life.
Were you journaling or doing anything like that?
No, but it was the experience of clearing my clutter. that made me sort of, I felt a need to kind of write about that as a way of processing my experience.
Didn't know anything about this concept of space clearing, but apparently you say you've studied with people who are experts in the field, and so there's a field.
There is an absolute field. I call it a sort of a distant cousin of feng shui. It's definitely related to feng shui.
And you've studied feng shui.
I have. I have also studied feng shui. It's funny how I just kind of went right to space clearing. I don't know why. I love feng shui. I do love it. Feng shui still works at the visible level. Although it works to restore balance in a home, the goals are very similar.
But it doesn't so much get into the psychological element, does it?
I'm not sure about that. I can't speak for. I'm not a professional feng shui consultant, but I was drawn more to the intuitive side of how spaces inform us and shape us and affect us, and it seemed like a natural fit with space clearing. It's who you are can change the energy in a space. So a lot of what I teach now is how we affect our spaces with our negative thinking, our worrying, that kind of stuff really builds up, creates like a residue that is kind of like a pollutant, if you will. You know, cobweb, energetic cobwebs that kind of grow and build up based on how conscious or not conscious we are.
Like this comes from your website, and you're speaking to this right now, talking about this space clearing. And you wrote, it's a specialized form of energetic clearing that harmonizes and balances the flow of energy in spaces at a deep level. It's like clearing energetic cobwebs that create stress in our homes, our workplaces, and our lives.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm thinking as you're talking about awareness that we have a short video that we could show that I think speaks to some of what you do to be aware of yourself, your inner self. Yeah, and that was done through Hallmark?
Yeah, it was aired on the Hallmark Channel a few years ago. And it doesn't show me space clearing per se, but it shows how I cultivate nourishing self-care, how I kind of create bring sacred into my daily life. And I believe that is equally important, along with the self-care and the clearing is just bringing sort of that level of awareness to your and slowing down every day. Some people find sacred space by going to church on Sunday. I find sacred space right in my home. My first cup of coffee is my sacred moment. I call it my soul time. I love to, in the way I tune into my environment is through my senses. I'm listening to the bird sounds. I can smell the coffee. I love the heat of the cup in my hands. I really try to make that happen every day. One of the pathways into sacredness for me is altars. I stand in front of my altar and I envision that I'm creating this bubble of energy that supports me in feeling safe and good here. When I care for my home, I am caring for myself. I believe that our things are sacred, and putting them away every day is a form of honoring their value to us. I love one small pot going in the medium pot, and then the medium pot going in the bigger one. There's just
a sense of order to it, and it makes me happy.
Oh, that was lovely, and I
Thank
think
you.
that just gave us a sense
Yeah.
of what your everyday life is like,
Yes.
in a way that you put this all into practice,
Exactly.
don't you?
Well, it's
Yeah.
definitely slowing down is very hard for us, and I think that all the goodies are there.
Okay, so we are going to have to stop